Hey you guys, all right, I'm really excited because I know that my videos have been pretty grainy lately, and so we figured out that we're having, that I was set up on the wrong Wi-Fi system, so I'm really hoping that this will sort it out, fingers crossed. All right, so today we are just doing a little decoration onto our foam pumpkins. You can kind of hear that foam. All right, so it's really simple. All right, and this is going to be really easy. So it's just adding a little bit of extra, so when you see them all sitting together, you can have one with a little more pizzazz. All right, so this is what we're starting off with, and just from the dollar store. I'm going to grab my scissors off, because oftentimes when you go to try and just like yank that tag out, it will take out more foam than you want to lose. So I'm just going to do a quick snip. If you have trouble seeing, go ahead and swipe your comments to the right so then you're able to see better. All right, and so we got that, and we're going to go ahead and take that top off, and you're going to have to be a little careful. Sometimes there's extra glue there, and we don't want it to cause too much damage. As you can see, there's just a little bit, but sometimes there's like a whole pile of glue, so be careful. Maybe use some scissors or a knife to try and cut off that glue if you're struggling more. Like I said, it's really hit and miss how much glue you get on that. All right, so we're just going to use a very basic pattern. And so because of the way that we're doing that, you guys know that I try to keep my videos pretty easy. So we don't want something that has a specific design. Like I had one that was a cute napkin, and it had kind of like a snowman piled pumpkin. So there was like a stack of them. And so you have to get those pictures perfect, right? So we kind of want something that's a little bit more busy where you get the picture here and there. And as we do this, you'll understand why that's important, okay? So I'm just opening this up. I've got a little bit of a mess already because I was crafting something else this morning. All right, so what we're going to start off, we're going to get our Mod Podge, and I might actually need to open another one. What do I got here? Okay. All right, so I just have my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to put it in a little tray because that's what I have beside me. All right, and we'll be using a decent amount, like I said, because we're not trimming it up to make it perfect and shaping it perfectly, then we need that little bit extra just to make sure. All right, so we're going to start with just putting the Mod Podge on the very base of it, okay? All right. Oh, wait a second, I think... Oh no, I forgot I'm supposed to start on the other side. You know what? It'll be okay. We'll go ahead and start here. Sorry, you guys. Actually, I did practice this craft last week to do it, and then things got in the way. So it's been a few days since I did it. So we're actually starting from the top. Sorry. All right, so we're going to do the top, right? We're just going to take the very middle of our napkin, okay, and we're going to put that right in the dead center of the top and just kind of smooth it over top. Okay. All right. So we got that nice and flat. All right, and we're just going to do that same kind of area on the outside. All right, we're getting a little bit of the wrinkly effect there. That's all good. All right, and so then what we're going to do is I'm going to put my hand around it, just kind of flip it over, and of course I've made that mess on this side now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pick one side that we're going to go ahead and get our Mod Podge going on. Ooh, a little bit clumsy. It is nicer if you can set things down and let them dry a bit, but for my videos I try and keep them short and sweet for you. And if I did it slowly and took the time and had all different levels laid out, then seriously it would I would have had to do like 5 pumpkins. Okay, so we're just doing that. All right, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that center in. So the corners, we're gonna pat that down in there. Okay. All right, so this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. Like I said, see, so that's the problem with not letting it dry. If you guys can see, I've like cracked it all up. So it is nicer if you can let it dry for a little bit. I'm gonna put some extra Mod Podge on there just to push that back down. All right. All right, so we got that. All right, so now this is where it gets, once more, where we're not being super particular. So we're gonna be doing this one here, right? All right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to fill in here a bit too, because that's all going to scrunch up and get in there, and it'll give it a really nice texture. So I'm just going in behind. All right. If you can get any of the white layers in between, that's good too. I'm just adding a little extra. All right. And of course, do the layer of which on the outside that we just put on. Right? So it definitely is a bit clumsy, but it is really, really easy and really dresses it up. All right, so we got that spot mostly covered. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and work on pulling in the next quarter. All right, so putting lots on, not really stressing about it. Make sure you get right to the tops. Want to make sure it's underneath. Lots on there. All right, we're just going to take that and kind of pull it into the center. Make sure that we are covering the whole thing. All right, and then we're just going to add a whole pile of Mod Podge and kind of let it flow where it's going to flow. Okay, so these are going to fold on each other, so it's good to get some Mod Podge in anywhere you can. Anytime you see a flap, a fold, anything, we're just going to go ahead and put some more on. So that's why we use quite a bit, is because we're covering it all up. As you can see, even with those extra layers, it's laying down. So that's why it's important that you're making sure to use quite a bit to make sure it's soaking in. All right. We're going to get this quarter done. All right, and because it just really doesn't take that long to do, we're going to go ahead and keep going. All right, it's sticking to my thumb here. Try and get your thumb on the dry spots. Like I said, if you can let it dry in between, then that's a huge plus. But it is still quick to do and pretty easy to fix any errors. Just with a little bit more Mod Podge, it makes it pretty easy. So I'm setting up for the next quarter section to do. Next corner to go in. All right, I think that's just about enough there. We're just going to pull that up, make sure it covers up. Okay, and then we're going to start covering it again. All right, so once more, trying to get some extra in there any way you can on all the different layers. So we're not going to stress too much about it. It's going to be definitely like a wrinkly effect going on. All right, come on. All right, this one needs a little bit extra in the layers. There we go. And see how it's just laying down flat there? Super, super easy. Definitely gives that little bit of extra pizzazz. All right, this is where it's going to get really messy for me because I'm out of spots to grab. But like I said, even if you're going to go ahead and do it my messy way, you can kind of patch it up a little bit with the Mod Podge at the end. It's not ideal, so I definitely am a fan of letting things dry, but just not for the videos. All right, you guys. I'm going to fill the rest in under here, so we're working on the last corner. Just going to put in a whole pile, and you guys can kind of see how thick I'm putting it on. It's almost like painting it white. The more the merrier in this case, because these are just napkins, so they're really thin. And these were just from the dollar store too. You know, and you can definitely do this for different holidays and everything too. Okay, so I got that in. All right, we've got our flaps out. All right, and like I said, just kind of add in anywhere you can, especially flaps that you know are going to be going in. And here we go. Start getting that down. All right. So, and even the Mod Podge was just from the dollar store too, so it's pretty easy to get everything you need for it. Whenever you have a flap that's not really laying down, just add some more Mod Podge underneath it. And it's amazing how much of that will just go ahead and squish down anyway. All right. Make sure we're getting both sides. Yeah, so this is really just finishing off the craft because it really just doesn't take that much time. So I'm kind of excited because it's nice when we can do the entire craft and be able to have it all done in just a few minutes so you guys can see how fast you can do it. I mean, and you could definitely do this with the kids. If you're doing it with the kids once more because the struggle of it drying and stuff, I think it would be better to let it dry in between because I mean, of course they'll like the mess of having their hands all over it and getting all goopy and everything, but at the same time, I think they might get frustrated as well with trying to not get stuck to everything and stuff like that too. But all right, so we're just doing the last section. I'm going to need just a little bit more Mod Podge going on there. And then I'll have to redo the spots where my fingers are because I can feel that I've lifted it up and made a mess of it. And I actually only did 1 coat of Mod Podge on it. So, I mean, super simple. All right. You know what? I probably just won't move my fingers because as soon as I do, I'll have to fix it and find somewhere to set it. All right, there we go. All right, so it's completely coated. And I think it just takes like an hour to dry, not even. It says 15 to 20 minutes to let dry. All right, and I better make sure I get my fingers off of there before I do that. All right, so I'm just going to set it down. It's definitely coming up on the bottom. So you want to let at least 1 spot dry where you'll be able to keep your fingers. All right, there we go. All right, and then at the end, you'll just flip it over and stab your stem right back into it, and then you'll have it finished. All right, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this craft. If you guys are interested in seeing more videos, make sure to follow me here on Facebook, or I also have a YouTube channel. If you're watching it on YouTube right now, make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos. And if you guys have any questions or just want to say happy Halloween, go ahead and put it in the comments, and hopefully we'll see y'all soon. All right, you guys, bye-bye.